Sports Drive.
Welcome back into Sports Drive. Once again, I'm your host, Preston Moore. Joining me to complete our Pick'em segment is Lance Lahnert, Mike Roden, and KJ Doyle. Our next game is our News Channel 10 Game of the Week. It's Randall and Hereford at Happy State Bank Stadium. Going to be a really great game out there. This was arguably the game of the year last year when Randall came out and was upset in a way by Hereford. And I know that both teams are looking forward to this game for quite some time. I've had this date circled on their calendar. I'm going to go first in this one because I go last every single time, and I'm going to go first in this one because I think I deserve a turn. So I'm going to give myself first pick in this one. I'm going to go with the Hereford White Faces in this one. They're coming off of a bye week. They want to get another win under their belt, and that bye week is going to play a big factor because Randall has not had a bye week all season long. They're playing their 10th straight week of uninterrupted football. They get their bye week next week. Coach Sherwood's talked a lot about emptying the tank this week. I'm sure that that will factor into this game and make it a very good one. Also, Randall's home field advantage will factor into it as well. But I'm going with the Hereford White Faces in this one, and we're going to switch it up. We're going to go to Mike next for second. Who do you have, Mike?
Well, I don't know. This is a tough call. It really is.
It is.
You think about, this Randall team and how they have gotten up off the mat, this season time and time again. And so they've proven they can do that. I think that's a credit to Coach Sherwood and his staff and these players for Randall. They're going to have to do it again, though, against a very good Hereford team. Hereford's proven, with maybe the exception of the West Plains game and the Canyon game, their offense has been very consistent all season long. They've shown they can put up a lot of points, and I think that's a concern against the Randall defense. I think Hereford has the advantage there, possibly with their talented quarterback and running back. And Randall's offense, they've got some talent on that side of the ball, but they've just not shown the consistency, I don't think, that they're going to need. If they do in this game, I think they'll be right in the thick of it. But I'm going to lean to Hereford as well. I think coming off that open date is big, and Randall has to be a little bit weary at this point. I'm going to go with Hereford as well.
Mike's rolling with the White Faces, taking home a win. This is the only I had both coaches on the show yesterday, and both of them mentioned, or Coach Nairn of the Hereford White Faces mentioned that Randall is the only team that's wanting to get back at Hereford this year. After last year's debacle in Hereford, they had a season that didn't go the way they wanted it to go, but it's gone very well so far this year. Lance, who do you have? Randall probably is hungry for revenge.
Yeah, but there's, when you have a whole new coach in that, I think it takes out some of it. Not a lot, but some of it, because the kids did play the game. Bottom line is Randall wins, and they're 3-1 and still could tie for a district title if Canyon stubs his toe here in the last 2 weeks. So they have a lot to play for, as well as Hereford. That does, your point that they've had the week off, open, whatever you want to call it, 2 weeks to prepare. Randall, like Mike said, man, I mean, they got gashed for 521 yards rushing and over 600 yards of offense by a Canyon team that Hereford on offense I consider just as good. But, this is probably going to cost me the whole overall title. But I'm chips all in, baby. Randall Raiders, whenever I see them down and out, they rise to the Phoenix, man. And I love what Hereford's done this year. I love Coach Nairn. I really enjoy Caleb Ramirez, their quarterback, and Brylan Lopez, the running back, over 1,000 yards rushing. But, man, it's all in. Raiders last game, empty the tank. When the coach is saying that, I'm in.
All right, Lance is rolling with the Raiders. I think you have a good point there. Randall may show up. They do have a lot to play for still. 3-1 in district is nothing to sneeze at in this district in particular. KJ, who do you have? Randall and Hereford at Happy State Bank Stadium on Friday night.
Lance is right about, the Sherwood element to it. I mean, it's unlikely he's going to go into the locker room and just try to hammer home the whole thing of, we need to get revenge on this team. For one thing, it's not so much his personality as a coach, and for another thing, it doesn't have the same emotion as when the coach that was with you there feels it too, and has that, has that chip on his shoulder too, and has that, anger in his voice. So there's some assistants there that might do it. I mean, obviously Coach Benton, offensive coordinator, I imagine he might have that, rallying cry for the team. But at the end of the day, the players still feel it, and the players are the ones out there on the field making the plays, and they're going to be the ones that want to get back at Hereford. My gut tells me Randall, my head tells me Hereford. So it's really tough because, you look at the game, right? You analyze it and you say, I mean, you can almost make it pretty cut and dry. If Hereford played Canyon really close, that game was a one-score game in the fourth quarter. It was tied in the fourth quarter. I believe it could have been a one-score, it was one-score game, I think, for a glimpse is what I mean to say. Hereford made it 21-13, and then Canyon blocks the extra point. So, albeit for one play, it was a one-score game before Canyon returns that extra point for 2. So you look at that and say Hereford played him real close, and Canyon got blown out, and Randall, got blown out by Canyon. So, I mean, that's all you need to see for some people. But this Randall team, they've been so good at bouncing back. So I'm gonna listen to my gut. I'm gonna go with the Raiders. I feel like that's in my gut. I feel like that's the pick. It's really, really tough, but I think Randall's just gonna bounce back again. I think those kids are gonna play with an edge, the same edge they played with against Dumas, and I think they're gonna scrap out a victory. And let's call it what it is. We're right. Lance is right. Canyon could stub their toe here down the stretch. Canyon, this could be for potentially a share of the district title, but hey, at the very least, this is for second place in the district, both of these teams. And that's a big deal, deal when you talk about playoff matchups. So I'm going to go with Randall in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. The higher your seeding is in the playoffs can certainly determine your longevity once playoff time rolls around, which is going to be a really huge deal for both of these teams. We do have a little bit more time here, and I have it very brief.
Hey.
This is not...
I want to say not to dismiss Dumas. Dumas is going to have a say about that too. That second place.
Absolutely. Great point. This does not count. What was that, Lance?
He's covering every base. You know what I mean?
He's covering every base.
I just talked to Coach Dunham this week. I was like, I can't. They do have a chance. I got to.
Oh yeah, you talk to Coach Dunham. You're fired up. So.
All right. I gotta say, in honor of Lance's sign, let's go through real quick.
Yeah.
World Series predictions, who wins and in how many games? Mike, I know you may not be the biggest MLB fan, but you're going to have to take a stab at it. We'll go KJ first. Who wins, how many games? Real quick.
Rangers in 5, and just because it's not on the pick'em slate, Dalhart over Bushland, baby. Dalhart's pulling it out.
Lance, who do you have? You got Rangers in 6?
Bushland by 30. Bushland by 30. I got the Rangers in 6.
Rangers in 6. Mike, who do you have in the World Series? I know you're a big fan.
I like the Rangers. I've always liked the Rangers. I'll take the Rangers, but I think it's going to go to 7.
All right. Well, yesterday Sean Roof predicted on this show the Diamondbacks would sweep in 4 and win every game by about 100. Those are his words, not mine. I'm also going to go Diamondbacks, but I'm going to say Diamondbacks in 6. Going to be a great series. Guys, thank you for joining the show. We'll be right back to wrap things up on Sports Drive right after this break. Stick with us.